He told Luke he supported the affair because he believed Luke and Sandra were really in love. That some love was too strong to fight. Imagine that, my own son justifying betrayal like it was some tragic romance movie. Fine, let them all live for love. Let's see how powerful love feels without my money paying the bills. Then came the final major piece, the house. Our beautiful, fully paid off $920,000 house. Joint ownership, my biggest vulnerability. I couldn't let them walk away with half of it, so I created an opportunity. At dinner, I casually mentioned I'd run into an old acquaintance at a charity event, a real estate developer. He made a cash offer on the house, I said. Luke blinked. What? A very good one. Honestly, too good to ignore. We could downsize, invest the profits, think about our future. Our future. That phrase nearly made me choke. He hesitated. But this place, it has so many memories. Yeah, like the memory of you sleeping with my sister in our bed, you absolute parasite. But aloud, I smiled gently. Sometimes you have to let go of the past to move forward. A fresh start. A new chapter. It took a full week. Spreadsheets, fake market projections, carefully inflated numbers, soft emotional persuasion. But eventually he agreed. Of course he did. The real estate agent came over the following week. I stood there smiling while Luke walked her through the house I designed, pointing out the features I chose, explaining our vision like he had built any of it. I had to excuse myself to the bathroom just to splash cold water on my face and stop myself from screaming. We signed the initial paperwork. Closing was set for 30 days. He thought we'd start house hunting the following week. He even brought home glossy brochures for luxury gated communities nearby. We're not going. Sandra came by the next day after we signed. She wandered through the living room, touching the furniture like she was already imagining herself living there. Are you sure about selling, sis? She asked. This place is so special. I looked her dead in the eye. Sometimes you just need a fresh start. She smiled, actually smiled, and patted my shoulder. That's really brave, Sydney. 3 more weeks of smiling, 3 more weeks of pretending. Then I was going to burn it all to the ground. And before anyone asks about the kids, yes, I thought about them. A lot, but they made their choice. They lied to me every day for over a year. They weren't toddlers. They weren't confused little children. They were old enough to know betrayal when they were participating in it. They picked their side. Now they were going to live with it. The final 6 weeks became a blur of precision and compartmentalization. During the day, I was still the stressed but loving wife and CEO. At night, after everyone was asleep, I sat at my laptop building my escape. It felt like planning the most complicated campaign of my life. Only this time, the product was freedom. I found an apartment in another city thousands of miles away. Huge windows, water view, silence, peace, mine. I hired a remote interior designer and had the entire place furnished before I ever stepped inside it. I spent hours choosing everything. The sofa, the dishes, the bed, the lamps. It was the first home I had ever designed without compromise, without negotiation, without asking anyone what they preferred. It felt absurdly powerful. I lined up a major consulting project there using old business contacts. Enough work to keep me profitable and distracted. I opened new bank accounts, new credit cards, new phone plan, new number, a whole new financial identity. I even joined a gym there online. I was building a life raft while they were still dancing on the Titanic. The house closing was scheduled for the week after I left. Luke thought we were moving into a luxury rental temporarily while we searched for our dream home. He was excited, actually excited. He spent evenings scrolling real estate sites, showing me mansions we could supposedly afford after the sale. I would smile, nod, make vague comments, while silently counting down the days. Packing became a military operation. Everything truly important was shipped out piece by piece. Personal documents, family photo albums, my grandfather's watch, my father's records, irreplaceable things, boxes labeled, office supplies, client files, tax documents. The sheer audacity was my camouflage. I packed boxes right in front of him, and he never questioned it. Just getting a head start, babe, I'd say. You know how I like being organized. He never noticed the photo albums on the shelves had been replaced with identical empty ones from a craft store. He never noticed the expensive watch I wore daily was now a replica. The real one was already safe in a deposit box in my new city. Packing my father's watch was hard. He gave it to me when I graduated college. Holding it in my hand, I felt grief hit me like a wave. For the family I thought I had. For the legacy I thought I was building. For the version of myself who believed loyalty was mutual. Then I thought of them, and grief turned into steel. I wrapped the watch carefully and sealed the box. Even the business was being restructured. I held a small office party celebrating Sandra's promotion. She stood there glowing, giving a speech about gratitude, mentorship, and sisterly love. I nearly choked on my champagne. Meanwhile, I had quietly uncovered her expense reports. Spa days, luxury dinners, weekend getaways, charges on the company card, many of them with my husband. Even worse, her drinking had escalated. What started as wine at lunch had turned into employees reporting she smelled like alcohol during meetings. Every single incident was documented, every single one. Then I called Emma into my office. Emma had been with me for 15 years, since the beginning. Single mother, brilliant, loyal. The kind of person who helped build something instead of trying to steal it. I closed the door and told her I was planning major life changes, that I wanted to sell the company. I watched panic flash across her face. Then I made my offer. A legitimate sale of 60% ownership to her financed by the company itself. She would become majority owner and CEO. I would keep 40% as a silent partner. Steady income, no daily involvement. Freedom, she cried, actually cried. At first she thought I was joking. I told her, Emma, this company is my baby. I'm not giving it to just anyone. I'm giving it to the only other person who loves it as much as I do. She deserved it. And finally the kids. This is where some people will hate me. I truly don't care. They were about to get exactly what they earned. Reality. Dean's college fund, substantial, fully funded, and legally under my control, was liquidated. Every penny. He would find out the hard way when tuition came due. Sophie's 16th birthday was coming. I had been planning to buy her a brand new car. That was over. The credit cards I paid for, the ones they used for clothes, fast food, and weekend shopping, scheduled to be shut off the day I left. They wanted to play adult games, adult betrayals, adult lies. Fine, welcome to adult consequences. The universe gave me one final moment of clarity, just one last confirmation that I was doing the right thing. It happened the week before I left. I was sitting on the couch with Sophie, watching a movie, just the two of us, a rare, quiet evening. For a moment, it almost felt normal, like maybe I had imagined everything, like maybe she was still just my little girl. Then her phone buzzed on the cushion beside her. She glanced down, and I watched her entire face drain of color. Everything okay? I asked casually, reaching for popcorn. Yeah, she said too fast. Just friend drama. But I had already seen the message preview. It was from Luke. It said, Sandra just left, coast is clear. I felt something inside me go completely still. Sophie looked at me, eyes wide, trying to figure out if I had seen it. I smiled, grabbed another handful of popcorn, and said lightly, these teenage years, huh? So much drama. She gave a nervous little laugh, then quickly typed something back. Before she turned the screen away, I saw it. Her reply wasn't to a friend. It was to Sandra. It said, all clear, Mom's clueless. Clueless. That single word hit harder than every affair photo. That's what my daughter thought of me. Not Mom. Not the woman who built her world. Just the clueless fool funding everyone's lies. That one word solidified every cold decision I had made. No guilt. No hesitation. No second chances. There was one more person in this mess I couldn't ignore. Sandra's husband, Brandon. Brandon is a good man, a genuinely decent person. A high school history teacher who loves his students, loves his job, and God help him loved my sister. He had no idea he was married to the female version of a house fire. He deserved the truth. So I prepared a package for him, too. Every photo, every message, every hotel receipt, every timestamp, every lie. A complete and undeniable record of betrayal. I arranged for a courier to deliver it directly to his school the day after I left. He deserved facts, not excuses. And now the plan. Tomorrow morning I leave for a business trip. Early flight, routine, ordinary. I'll kiss my husband goodbye. I'll hug my children. I'll shake my sister's hand when she stops by for our usual weekly meeting. Normal goodbyes, for what they think is a normal trip. I even packed a decoy carry-on and left it in my car at the airport. A few clothes, toothbrush, enough to sell the illusion. My real luggage had already been shipped. I was traveling with one backpack. My new life would begin with less baggage. Literally. The folder would be waiting on the kitchen table when Luke woke up. Inside, divorce papers, printed screenshots of the worst messages, financial statements showing every legal move I had already made, and a USB drive containing every photo, every text, every lie. There would be no emotional letter, no long explanation, no final speech, just one sticky note on top. It said, "I know everything. Do not contact me. Communicate through my lawyer only." That was it. Clean, final. My old phone would be left in the kitchen drawer. Factory reset? Dead to me. My new number was already active. Only 3 people had it, my lawyer, Emma, and my new property manager. By the time they read that note, I would be 30,000 feet in the air, flying toward my new life. Samantha would handle the wreckage. The house sale would go through. Too late to stop it. The divorce would be swift with the mountain of evidence I had. Sandra would receive her termination letter by certified mail, along with notice that any attempt to fight it would result in civil and criminal action over her creative relationship with the company credit card. And the kids, they'd find out when the lifestyle disappeared. When tuition came due, when the cards stopped working, when they realized their mother wasn't the pathetic fool they thought she was. Some people will say I was too harsh, that they were just teenagers, that they were manipulated. My son was months away from legal adulthood. My daughter lied to my face every single day for over a year. They knew it was wrong. That's why they hid it. They chose their father. They chose their aunt. They chose deception. Now they get to live with it. In 36 hours, I would be standing in my new apartment in a new city, and they would be standing in the storm they created. I built my life from nothing once. I could do it again. But this time I'd do it without snakes in my house. The flight was surreal. 7 hours suspended between 2 lives. I didn't watch a movie, didn't read, didn't sleep. I just stared out the window at the clouds and listened to the silence in my own head for the first time in months. That morning had been a blur of forced smiles. The hug I gave Sophie while she was lying down on her bed felt like holding a stranger. Same thing with Dean, who gave me a quick kiss on the cheek while looking up from his phone on his bed. Luke kissed me and wanted to walk me to my car. I refused and told him to get more sleep. "Have a good trip, babe. Call me when you land." I smiled, said I would, and left. I drove to the airport on autopilot. My town looked unfamiliar in the rearview mirror, like I was already gone. I left the car in long-term parking, dropped the decoy bag in the trunk, and walked into the terminal with one backpack and a one-way ticket to freedom. I landed at noon. By 12:30, while I was in a cab heading to my new apartment, my new phone started buzzing. Only 3 people had that number. It was Samantha. "They read your letter, seen the photos and other evidences," she said, calm and professional. "And they are not taking it well." She informed me that the corporate mobile phone had already been blowing up with voicemail. All of them were forwarded to my new phone. By the time I checked into my building, my lawyer texted me that Luke, Sandra, my parents, and even Dean called. I stood in the middle of my new apartment, beautiful, silent, completely mine, and listened to the city outside my window. And for the first time in years, I felt peace. The storm had arrived, and I was finally somewhere safe. According to Samantha, everything exploded around 7 a.m. Luke found the folder while making coffee. His first call was to her office, screaming, crying, demanding to know where I was. She gave him her practiced ice-cold response. "Mrs. Evans has retained me for the dissolution of your marriage. All communication will go through me. She will not be responding to direct contact." Apparently, he lost his mind.